The bull market is back. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil, keeping technical analysis short and sweet as always. And I just say the bull market is back, even though it is not fully back at the moment. We are looking at Bitcoin and at the previous orange bars I have placed out here from previous history and what I expect to happen. So I see that we had this major push up above the previous high, which is this, which would be this push up right here, right around 124, before major rejection, further rejection below the previous high, which is always not a good sign. Come up, testing that upward trend line, seeing it is resistance, which is this area right here in the orange bars. And then we had that drop down, which would be this drop down. We have that push back up towards the previous high, so we may still see this have the tendency to push up a little bit before ultimately dropping back down heavily for a little while, a day, 2 days. And a lot of people have been waiting this out for a long time, and they say, Neil, why would I invest my money? Why not just take my profits or my minimal losses? Definitely you want to take your minimal losses with your profits. You want to let it run. So if you are in the red with a lot of your coins, looking at Bitcoin, we may still have that further retracement down here towards the 100K, which is the ultimate support. And I believe once we do, and if we do push down that far, we're going to see some quick consolidation and immediate push back up to new all-time highs. Moving on over to Floki. I know I've skipped XRP and a lot of those recently, but there's just not a whole bunch going on. We have the upward trend line for Floki. It broke beneath this 409, a fraction of a cent, and we are underneath the 200 EMA yet again. So we could see that further retracement to 4082, which would be this upward trend line, and we'd like to see some support off that area, pushing back over this strong support and resistance, and then ultimately that'd be above the 200 EMA and start getting some more bullish momentum upwards. As we see, we had a major push up, came down underneath the 200 EMA, push up, fake out, and then pushed down where we had a bunch of sell-offs right before it pushed up to its previous high. We are still forming that W. We could say that it ended here, and we are waiting for this to trail out. You could consider this potentially a cup and handle. If we were to do like half spheres, this would be the cup. This is a very small version of a cup and handle. Then we had the handle part right here, that push up, but now we are continuing, so we could elongate this cup and handle to be something more like this. There's the cup, and then for the handle would essentially be this part playing out right now before a quick movement upwards and then breaking this pattern, pushing it upwards towards only 3 zeros and 1 9. May not seem like much. This is a meme coin, but back to this high is around 102%. So just keep Floki in mind. We are still in consolidation, a little bit of retracement, but the RSI looks good. Perpetual protocol. This is one I've been talking about for the past couple days, maybe a day. But we are in consolidation. We've seen this with a lot of other coins, XYO, DIMO even, I guess. But getting over this 200 EMA is key for 34 cents, more or less. We may see a quick movement up and then come back down and test that as support. But if we continue further downwards, we would expect some strong support here at 23 cents. So not a whole bunch of risk, a lot of reward to the upside for Perpetual Protocol. We are at an almost absolute low, and say for example, like back here, we had that far push away from the 200 EMA, and then major pump right afterwards, consolidate with the 200 EMA, clear inverse head and shoulders that played out, and with that inverse head and shoulders, that push up to around $2, $2.20. But that is just the beginning. If you are just now entering Perpetual Protocol, there is quite a ways to the top. $24 to the top. Your risk to the bottom is 26 cents, more or less. If we can get above that 200 EMA, that is where you're going to be looking for your entry. Nowhere below that, because it could still move downwards towards even 6 cents. and then get that major support, testing that 200 EMA again. And if it breaks and holds, we could start seeing that potential move up to $24 from 26 cents. XDC brought this one in recently. I was talking about when we were back here that we would most likely see some consolidation and pullback, which we are clearly seeing. And we see that we have a wick off, so it means there's quite a bit of buying power happening in this area. We see that back here we had the wick off or tweezer bottom, and it pushed it up, then immediate tweezer top, pushed it down, and we're getting a lot of wick off within this area, meaning there are a lot of buyers trying to build that upward trend line, trying to keep stability and healthiness. This is very, very healthy because now we are back at that 200 EMA. If I remove CM Guppy, put in RSI yet again. And if you guys like to donate so I don't have to do this and just pay for TradingView, that's always an option. But XDC, the RSI is oversold, so that's where we're getting a little bit of this consolidation and support. If we can break this downward trend line, most likely consolidate over towards this upward trend line before ultimately pushing back up to all-time highs. It's getting better and better looking for an entry if we hold this support right here at 73 cents and break here around 75 to 80 cents within this area. But very nice play on this as long as it builds that higher low, which is clearly expected with Bitcoin most likely retracing and having that reversal here at 100K. We may see that push down, which would essentially push this to that downward trend line, maybe even over it, and then back up and start that upward momentum. Near, brought near in a while ago, still in consolidation, still not over that 200 EMA, so not a whole bunch to say about it. Just waiting to see that confirmation close above there, and then we'd be looking at a potential range of around 57% increase for that push up towards that downward trend line. And if that breaks, definitely a lot higher. But first, to make sure we are stable, we want to get above that 200 EMA and get a close for a little while, maybe even a little consolidation. Now XRP. A lot of people watch my channels for XDC or XCN, but XRP is definitely one of a go-to. They just had a MasterCard by Gemini released on the 25th, so just a few days ago, where you can get paid out in XRP for everything that you are buying. If that's not enough support to say, hey, this company is very little to be valued at $2.87, the token is worth way, way more. The fact that they already have a credit card for it, which means Swift payments will most likely be integrating some form of XRP's transaction system. So not only does XRP get a huge portion of volume when people start buying more of it to do transactions across the world, but XRP is only $2.87 in the future when this is staying stable at like $25 to $50. You can come back and look at this video and say, Neil said to get an entry anywhere from 50 cents, which we had our original entry, to $2.33 to $2.64. Now is just as good an entry. We are holding some strong support above 265, which is that 618 retracement as well. So even if we touch the 200 EMA, dollar cost averaging XRP is probably going to be your best game plan for now and in the future, as they will allow staking rewards. So you don't even have to sell your XRP. You start earning passive income by letting other people use it to do those transactions that are now able to be done with MasterCard. Well, I guess you save XRP. It's not really an XRP transfer at the moment, but it's beginning to integration. Before Bitcoin was 139, now we're looking at 100,000. So, you do the math. Is it possible for XRP to be hitting $10,000? Clearly, yes. We are at the beginning cycle of the world financial change. So definitely stack massive bags for XRP. Same goes for XLM. Not as much XLM personally as XRP, as XRP is the thing that XLM works on and with. So using the main system, XRP is going to be your best bet for long-term financial freedom. XLM is going to be used within that system, so it is a lot cheaper. It's if you miss that 50-cent run up to 350 for XRP, XLM is your next go-to. However, still keep a bag of XRP, as you will not regret it, whether it be within the next 2 years or 10 years. But within that time range, you will gladly be happy that you invested in XRP. But none of this is financial advice. None of this is financial advice. It's me stating my opinion. We have this downward wedge, or bull flag as we would like to call it, for XLM forming. Like we've said previously and we've seen play out, we are most likely touching this downward trend line, potentially the 200 EMA. If we have a further pullback by Bitcoin, which I am expecting, followed by immediate pushback up towards this downward trend line and break. We've seen it happen in many other coins, but definitely 36 cents XLM has a very long way to hit a new all-time high. 36 cents is unheard of. Like when XRP was 50 cents, we are not going back to 50 cents for XRP. It's not happening. But you can stack your bag at 286. So same goes with XLM. Stack your bag while it's cheap. LCX, we had that push up. We were looking for an entry anywhere within this area. If we hold above this upward trend line, even better. However, if we do have a pullback, finding an entry within that 11-12 cents would not be a bad bet, as we could expect that immediate push back up over that 200 EMA and taking off for LCX. Very, very cheap for what I hear its utility and possibilities are. $50 is what some people claim. It's at 14 cents. I'm not going to put anything back past cryptocurrency, but LCX does look better and better. Toshi, meme coin, getting some wick off on that downward trend line, showing that it is getting some more support. We are above the 200 EMA, most likely trading within this range for the next couple of days. If we break out of this 0.0007 is our resistance. And if we can get past that, we're looking at breaking this previous high beyond 0.0009 more or less. It's got a long way to go to get to its previous high. It's Coinbase's meme coin. I have a reference for Coinbase in the description below if you don't have Coinbase yet. But I mean, it's not a bad bet for being a meme coin. I made quite a bit of money at this previous peak, seeing that it was going to have a little push up, and snagged quite a bit just within this one bar. May not seem like much, but it was I think I got 125% from my entry. So my entry was like somewhere here, somewhere down there, but it was a very good pump before the dump. So a lot of people just hold and wait it out, not sell at this point, hold and wait it out, and they're just wasting away their time. And there are other opportunities that could be presented, such as XRP taking off. And we're looking at Hbar, similar thing to XLM. Wedge, bull flag, very good looking. 200 EMA close, pushing through the CM guppy, but still holding that support. We need a little bit of volume. Not going to check the RSI, but if you're getting XRP and XLM, Hbar is definitely something to stack as well. And then NKN, I brought this one up, but not very important. It's still in consolidation. Just needs to get above that 200 EMA. Ultimately, breaking this downward trend line is where you would be looking for an entry for NKN. Like and subscribe if you want. References in the description below. Grass is doing their airdrop apparently next month. So if you missed in on getting on Grass, click that reference link, sign up, and it's pretty much just using an application that gets you points. Points turn into Grass tokens. And you can see that Grass, it has been moving downwards. But the last airdrop, everybody was able to sell for $2.14. If we are near the bottom and we get just a little push up, it's free money. I'm not sure what the points transfer is, but definitely check out Grass if you haven't yet. And good luck, have fun with it. I will start on the XYO, XCN, and all that later.